So we have attorney Joseph P. Murphy, who will be speaking with us today about his experience working with immigration law there in Charleroi, in the Charleroi community. So we're going to start with you, attorney Joseph P. Murphy. Is that okay?
Of course.
I know we spoken on the phone about what your experience has been like there in Charleroi recently, and just ongoing with the immigration community, working with immigration law. Would you
Yeah.
mind speaking a little bit more about that?
Sure. I've been working in Charleroi since late 2019. I originally ended up there working on a program for Liberian refugees. And really, what a nice town. They generally, up until recently, really did a great job handling immigration, better than really any other place I've worked. And I worked in a lot of small towns helping refugees integrate into society. It's not always an easy job. People push back. I'm sure you guys know a lot more about that than I do. I'm not a law enforcement or academic, but I'm right there in the street with these people at their homes, working with businessmen, migrants, people looking for work permits, things of this nature. Um, in the summer of 24, we had that whole business with the speech with the cats and the dogs. And that's really where this thing kind of first went off the rails. I'm pretty visible as a feature of Charleroi life. I'll meet people in McDonald's or on ball fields, at workplaces. And really, that's when people really started, people of the town, threatening me, showing up at McDonald's, posting things on the internet about my home. Why don't you take immigrants into that house where you live with a wife and two small children? Really spooky kind of stuff, even directed at me. Um, it seemed to calm down really pretty quickly in Charleroi. And that really gave me some hope because it seemed to have gone back to that sort of baseline, a small town doing a really great job with migration until lately. And that's what we have, this environment of fear. I don't look at it from a law enforcement perspective or an academic or activist perspective. I look at it through the eyes of my clients. And as a lawyer, sometimes you get the disease, you pick up the client's cause. Um,
Mhm.
what happened isn't just an insult caught on camera. It's a pattern we're seeing more and more provoke, publish, distribute. Um, the intimidation is the product. These videos are just the delivery mechanism. And that's what's going on here. Thousands of people have seen this thing. And I imagine half of them will hopefully, a lot less than half of them were emboldened by it, but a good number of people were incensed and a certain number of people were terrified. And that's what fear does to a small town. It does a lot of things, but it makes society, institutions, life in general seem less safe. That feeds a shadow economy. People retreat from traditional housing, maybe don't make doctor's visits or court appearances. And that makes them easy prey. Okay. I had a couple notes here. Something that's uncomfortable but important is that both sides profit off this outrage. You've got one side here that is talking about an immigrant invasion, and another side that's talking about a predatory government. And, they're continuing to teach everybody that's watching these videos that the situation's out of control. They're monetizing fear and using this issue. The important thing for, my clients who are watching this, immigrants who are watching this, is to keep your head. Don't let these clips trick you out of a normal life. This country isn't that bad. Or that's what this whole podcast is about. It's about we care about you. Um, but that's the thing, right? What we're trying to do here is preserve normal life, and I think um, the opposite of hate isn't a slogan. It's a community that keeps functioning, and that's what I'd like to see down in Charleroi. I don't want to see people afraid to go to Walmart or other businesses or out in public. I don't want people afraid to come visit me because people are after me. I want people to assert their rights to the extent that they have them to get immigration benefits here in the United States, regardless of what somebody in Walmart said to Queenie. That's not the way it works here, and that's not the way it will work if you're my client. A couple other thoughts, and I really don't want to get down on the people of Charleroi. In any situation like this, you will find malcontents at the fringes. There was somebody that put up nasty flyers during the cats and dogs thing in the summer of 24. And there's people that drive by and yell out the window, but this is a pretty outrageous example. And the concern is, you know, that more people will be intimidated and more people will be emboldened, and that separation from ordinary civilization that we love so much is going to happen faster. Um, right. Got a couple of notes here. Right. This is not citizen journalism. This thing that this guy did. This is rage monetization. Short clips stripped of content optimized to make people angry. Content consistently portrays one group as outrageous and one group as victims. It's not a neutral observation. It's narrative manufacturing, whether the creator admits it or not. Um, but I really like that town. I really like the people. And again, overall, I would say it's done better than any other small town I've worked in. I'm very happy with Charleroi, and I'd hate to see it go down that abyss of fear and destruction and people hiding from normal life, because it's a great town. Um, I don't have anything further to speak about right now, but certainly I'm sure there'll be comments and questions.
Sure. Thank you so much, Attorney Murphy. And I think when we spoke, you were mentioning, and I actually also spoke with another gentleman from the Haitian Resource, I think, Initiative. And he was mentioning that too. He was mentioning that, we're okay here. We're okay here. And almost as if what happened was pretty much sensationalized. And it sounds as if what you're saying is also pretty much the same thing too. And that
Yes.
which that's what I'm hearing you saying.
No,
And
no,
so,
that town did a great job there, and I don't know how. I wish I was. I'm not out studying this stuff. I'm not polling people. I'm in the back of the African supermarket trying to help people get legal. But I've thought many times. We were joking earlier. I was a poli-sci undergraduate. I wish I could figure out what it was about Charleroi that made it so able to do this. And it's not like it's a normal American town, a little bit nicer than some, a little bit not as nice as others. Um, Standard blend of people, nothing unusual there. I wish I could figure it out, because that would be a nice thing to have for other towns. um,
sure. Yeah. Thank you for mentioning that. I
yeah.
do think I'm glad that you mentioned that. I'm also glad that Jacob is here and Dr. Alon is here too,
Mhm.
because then they'll also be able to speak to the statistics of Pennsylvania in general. And I know Dr. Alon will be able to speak even more further about the stats of Pennsylvania and the anti-government groups and hate groups, and where Pennsylvania ranks with that within the state.
Well, I'm not
Um,
suggesting they're not there. I mean,
so I know this
we
might be
know they're there.
sensationalized, but I